The Pueblo Revolt occurred between August 10th and August 21st in 1680. The revolt took place in present-day New Mexico, previously known as New Spain. The revolt was led by Pope of Oque Awingwe, a member of the Pueblo tribe. The Pueblos revolted against the Spanish persecution of their religion and ways of life. They disliked the labor they were forced into. Both the Pueblos and a small number of Apaches were there to fight the Spanish out of the region, and were successful, resulting in the death of over 400 Spaniards and forced 2,000 to relocate. It was the only successful revolt in mainland North American history against a colonizing power.
The Spanish governor of New Spain declaring that the holy men of the Pueblo be whipped and killed in Santa Fe. The Pueblos declared their own offensive, one of blood and revenge. The Incomedia system broke, brutalized, and humiliated the natives for far too long, their backs broken against them with the hard labor pressed against them. With the elders of the tribes making their minds up, the knots for the days until the event were dispatched, and the men were ready, and the rebellion had begun.
In the 1670s, the Spanish governor of New Mexico ordered several Pueblo holy men executed, and many others publicly whipped. Pope, a war captain, was one of the men whipped in Santa Fe, which made his experience that hardened his resolve to drive the Spanish from New Mexico. In the face of turmoil, suffering from prolonged drought, and fearing the complete loss of our culture, the Pueblo people restored to armed resistance.
Upon the Spanish returning to the land, they were not as brutal to the Pueblo. There was a noticeable shift in power as well. Without the Pueblo standing in defiance, boldly defending themselves, their entire culture as we know it would be shattered. With the Pueblo Indians sticking to their ideals, their land and way of life was saved for as long as it could be.
When the Spanish settlers were reintroduced into the area, they were pretty much forced to cooperate with the Pueblo, for if they did not cooperate with the Pueblo, the Spanish feared a similar event would happen again, and that it would ultimately lead to further degradation of the relationship between the Spaniards and the Pueblo. On top of that, over time, Christianity meshed with the Pueblo's religion, causing a religious synchronization of sorts that can still be felt today in the area, as whenever Christianity takes hold in an area, it would often transform it, and the two religions would often get meshed. This happens a lot all across the world, but most notably here as a consequence of eventually Christianity's reintroduction. And this is by far one of the most successful rebellions against the Spanish, as not only was this over a large geographic area, but it was highly coordinated by two separate groups who centuries before would have been at each other's throats.